Feds Feed Drive, which encourages employees from all departments and agencies to give in-kind donations and contributions through food, service, time to all the food banks and pantries around the U.S. Feds Feed Families is a food drive created to help food banks and pantries stay stocked during the summer months when they traditionally see a decrease in donations and an increase in need. With that in mind, our big push for donation in June through August. However, hunger is a year-round issue that I think we can all agree on. So Feds Feeds Family will issue periodic reminders to give year-round, and employees can record their donations on the Feds Feeds Family Hub. We'll learn more about that a little bit later on as well. So before we get started here, it's really important that we share with you some great speakers that we have lined up. And I think it's safe to say you probably want to hear from them. Our first speaker, providing opening remarks and sharing this year's campaign theme with you all, needs no introduction. Hailing from the state of New Mexico and granddaughter of migrant farm workers, it's my pleasure to introduce from the U.S. Department of Agriculture, our Deputy Secretary, Taurus Small.
Welcome. Thank you for being a part of this vital government-wide program, Feds Feed Families. USDA has continually taken steps to strengthen food security, to drive down hunger and costs for families, while emphasizing that everyone deserves nutritious food. We've done this by increasing SNAP benefits, extending free nutritious meals to kids throughout the summer, increasing food assistance to low-income seniors, and through our WIC program to support mothers and young children. USDA programs help fill the gap, but the need is still great. This year's Feds Feed Families campaign takes place from June 24th through September 30th, and the theme is Nourishing Our Neighbors Nationwide. Hunger is around issue, so we encourage federal employees to give throughout the year. All donations may.
The other they're saying they cannot hear Deputy Taurus. Is there a way we can turn the audio up when we start, please?
fedsfeedfamilies.ocio.usda.gov to learn how to donate and record your donations, how to organize. Welcome. Thank you for being a part of this vital government-wide program, Feds Feed Families. USDA has continually taken steps to strengthen food security, to drive down hunger and costs for families, while emphasizing that everyone deserves nutritious food. We've done this by increasing SNAP benefits, extending free nutritious meals to kids throughout the summer, increasing food assistance to low-income seniors, and through our WIC program to support mothers and young children. USDA programs help fill the gap, but the need is still great. This year's Feds Feed Families campaign takes place from June 24th through September 30th, and the theme is Nourishing Our Neighbors Nationwide. Hunger is a year-round issue, so we encourage federal employees to give throughout the year. All donations make an impact. Since Feds Feed Families launched in 2009, it's collected more than 99 million pounds of food for donation. In 2023 alone, the food drive donated more than 10 million pounds. I encourage you to get involved. Visit our online hub at fedsfeedfamilies.ocio.usda.gov to learn how to donate and record your donations, how to organize donation and gleaning events, how to promote the program, and how to share your volunteer efforts. Good nutrition is so important for active and healthy lives. I'm proud that USDA is the designated lead agency for the National Feds Feed Families campaign across the whole federal government. It's through our combined efforts as federal employees that we make the greatest difference. So thank you for being involved and supporting your department's Feds Feed Families activities. As public servants, I applaud your commitment to serving the American people. Let's continue serving those in need and nourishing our neighbors nationwide.
Thank you, Deputy Secretary, for your support and leadership. As I introduce our next speaker, I want to recognize So Others Might Eat, who is serving the hunger needs of the National Capital Region of DC, Maryland, and Virginia, and has been part of the Feds Feed Family event throughout the years. In 2024 here, Feds Feeds Family wants to address food insecurity across the country, and I'm excited to welcome our next distinguished speaker virtually from So Others Might Eat, Barinna Doggett. Welcome, Barinna.
Thank you so much. We are so honored to be asked to come and speak with you all today. My name is Barinna Doggett. I am the Chief Clinical Officer and Executive Vice President of Health and Emergency Services at SOM, also known as So Others Might Eat. And I'm really excited to be here today. In fact, I just got back from a destination wedding in Iowa, so I think this might be a little bit more exciting. The wedding was nice. Iowa was an interesting place. I recently had the honor of hearing Secretary Vilsack's remarks at the Hunger Leadership Award, and the Secretary's inspiring comments about food security and the dedication to federal employees nourishing our neighbors nationwide. It was incredibly inspiring and just makes me really proud to be an American and to be part of this incredible movement that you all are doing. So thank you for this opportunity. SOM works really hard and is incredibly passionate about ensuring food security to our neighbors in Washington, D.C. In 2023, SOM provided more than 200,000 nourishing meals to people in need. And we hope with your support, we'll be able to surpass this achievement. This event is incredible, and the work that the Feds do has been absolutely phenomenal. Last year, I also had the opportunity to participate in your walk, I believe at the end of the event. And it was so inspiring to see individuals from across the country coming together to address this issue. And it's an issue that we see in all of our communities, big or small, urban or rural, across the country. So SOM began more than 50 years ago as a lunch line at the intersection of North Capitol and K Street in downtown DC. And this is where the local community would gather each day to partake in a nourishing meal free of charge. SOM's founders, though, soon saw a need beyond what a small soup kitchen could provide and began delivering additional services to the most vulnerable of our neighbors. We quickly realized that we could provide food, but the needs far surpassed just getting a meal that would take them to the next day. And because of that, today, SOM is a trusted human service provider. We know that growth and transformation come from serving the entire whole person, physically, spiritually, financially, behaviorally, socially, and emotionally. This is why our approach to serving the DC community is called whole person care. It's not just about saving a life. It's not just about feeding someone, but it's about improving lives and helping to transform an individual's life. So SOM does this through offering programs that are designed to meet clients' immediate needs and support their journey to long-term stability. Each year, we serve more than 5,000 individuals through hundreds of thousands of services and visits. In practice, what this might look like is that one of our unhoused neighbors in DC might go to SOM's dining room for a meal, breakfast or lunch, maybe respite from weather, too hot, too cold, rain. After their lunch, the neighbor might have an opportunity to meet with Ron. He's our peer support specialist, someone with lived experience who understands what the individuals we work with are going through. Ron spends time getting to know individuals, knowing their stories, listening to their experiences, and hearing their needs. He begins by building trust so that eventually he can walk them over to our medical clinic. Once there, they might meet with a nurse practitioner, get a health needs assessment. They might meet with a mental health practitioner to help stabilize on medication, or they may have the opportunity to enroll in our drug treatment program. This is just one example of the incredible work that Ron and the SOM team is doing, not just providing the food, but providing the support, the trust, the dignity, and respect that any individual who walks into our doors can expect. We help individuals build trust by navigating barriers, finding the right combinations of programs and services that they need to thrive. Over the last year, we have been able to provide basic needs such as showers, meals, clothing, healthcare, substance use disorder treatment, social services, career training, and affordable housing. Every $1 donated to SOME turns into $53 of social impact. You can learn more by visiting our social impact report, some.org at social impact. Along with that, in 2023, we provided 24,537 medical, dental, and vision clinic visits. We've served over 200,000 meals, provided housing to over 1,500 families, and enrolled 130 students at our Center for Employment Training. And this is just a small example of the services that SOME has been able to provide. In closing, it is my pleasure to invite you to learn more about SOME at some.org. You can sign up to volunteer at our food pantry if you're in the area. You can register for our annual Trot for Hunger held every Thanksgiving downtown. We are so grateful for the support that each of you bring every day to our neighbors in the community, and we thank you again for your stellar support.
Sorry. Oh, can you hear me now? Perfect. All right. Thank you, Brina, for sharing more about So Others Might Eat and for giving us insight on how our efforts in partnership together. For Gary Oppenheimer. Technology is already in vacation mode, so or weekend mode, so I appreciate everyone's patience. Our next distinguished speaker is Mr. Gary Oppenheimer, and he's the founder and executive director of ampleharvest.org and is a recognized thought leader in the hunger and food waste space. Ampleharvest.org is a nationwide nonprofit that is eliminating the waste of 11 billion pounds of fresh garden produce per year. And through ampleharvest.org, gardeners can connect with their local food pantry and donate their surplus harvest for the rest of their gardening life. It's a community-based program that operates on a nationwide basis, and we're thrilled to have Gary here with us in person.
Thank you very much. I'm delighted to be here, and I'm delighted to be a part of the launch of Feds Feed Families. And if you can bring the presentation up, please. Thank you. Again, it's a pleasure to be here with all of you. This is the first time in 15 years I've started a keynote talk within, just lost it. Should I start again? Thank you very much. I'm delighted to be here for the launch of Feds Feed Families. This is the first time in 15 years of giving keynote talks that I've started a presentation with an email. It's not moving. There we go. This is from June 13 of 10 years ago, in which I announced to my team that because of an effort from Michelle Obama and the Let's Move initiative at the White House and Secretary Vilsack and his team here at the USDA, ampleharvest.org was invited to be a part of Feds Feed Families. And we were very, very excited about that. And if you noted, I end the email with, who says Friday the 13th is unlucky? So as you heard, ampleharvest.org is a nationwide 50-state, 5,600 community nonprofit, now including Native American reservations across the country, that enables 8,000 food pantries across America to receive donations of surplus garden harvest from America's 62 million gardeners across the nation. So across the country, we have two groups of people. One, we have gardeners, 62 million, 40% of all people enjoying gardening, and they're in community gardens, rooftop gardens, backyard gardens, what have you. And an estimated 840,000 people in the federal government based on statistics, actually are gardeners. And as I had said, they gardening in all size gardens. We also have way too many people in this country who are food insecure, the elderly, families, children, veterans, et cetera. They go to a food pantry, and more often than not, they're seeing jars and cans and boxes, but rarely, if ever, fresh food, because that's what the system was really designed to handle. The kicker is that the people who garden and the people who are food insecure, they're neighbors. They live side by side in every community in the country. So in this country, we don't have a lack of food. We're not using the food we actually have. And this is where AmpleHarvest.org straddles both the food waste discussion and hunger and nourishment. And the big reason is, that, by the way, said on there, misinformation and missing information. So the misinformation is every food drive says jars, cans, boxes, no fresh food. That's changed. And the missing information is what AmpleHarvest.org then addresses here. So we actually solved that misinformation problem. And what happens is AmpleHarvest.org is designed to enable a gardener to learn that they can donate food. We then connect them to a food pantry in their own community. And then for the rest of their gardening life, maybe for 20 years, when they have too much tomatoes, zucchini, or whatever, they're able to donate directly to that food pantry, and that jars, cans, boxes issue goes away. So try to picture a food pantry in any town in America, draw a 9-mile radius circle around it, and put a food pantry in the center of that, of course. And now you have gardeners in that area, hundreds, thousands, who knows, but many. And for the first time, they're able to funnel all of that food that they have, that surplus food, to that food pantry this year and for the rest of their gardening life. So we launched in May of 2009, meaning we're 15 years old now. And the first food pantry was here in New Jersey, rather. And then we grew and we grew and we grew. And by the way, Alaska and Hawaii are included, they're just not on the map, and we grew. Today, we have 8,200 food pantries in more than 5,600 communities in all 50 states, and now also on Native American reservations. As we grew, we realized there was something that wasn't quite right with the map, and you can all see the gap in the map. The right half of the country, we're doing good. We have a lot more work to do. The West Coast, we're fine. Texas and the Southwest up, not the impact we wanted to have. We studied this. I spent time with a decade-long friend, Chief Henry Red Cloud Lakota from Pine Ridge, and we realized we were missing the boat on Native American reservations. Something wasn't working, and we spent time and we realized and learned that actually Native Americans do more gardening per capita than any other segment of the American population. So during the pandemic, we took the opportunity to rebuild AmpleHarvest.org and solved a bunch of problems, such as some reservations like the Navajo have no street addresses. There's no 100 Main Street. And we can't use Waze or Google Maps to send a gardener, go to this gas station, turn right half a mile. We solved the lack of a street address issue so that a gardener can get to a food pantry. We solved the issue that there are regions of the country where there are no zip codes. And we solved the issue that there are areas where there is insufficient internet and access to that type of information. We changed AmpleHarvest.org to meet the facts on the ground to make sure that the folks who live on or adjacent to a reservation had the same benefit of AmpleHarvest.org that the rest of America has had for the past 15 years. So how does it work, by the way? Well, you're a gardener and you put in your zip code wherever you live, and up comes a list of food pantries. And you pick one that's most convenient to you. And then all the information that you need about that particular food pantry. And by the way, the food pantry has put themselves in the system so that they keep the information up to date. They put in where they are, their hours of location. By the way, because we're tracking the hours and the days they're open, the food's able to come in and go out on a same-day basis. This is the first program that enables food pantries to get fresh food without needing refrigeration. We also have a component that's called Producepedia. So if somebody brings in a food, like what's rhubarb or artichoke or whatever, but someone brings in food, the gardener is able to actually go and print out a one-pager that describes what it is they're donating, that has a QR code on the bottom. Then when the food insecure family comes in, they take a picture with their phone and they now go home with the artichokes knowing exactly what it is. how to prepare it, the nutritional stuff, et cetera. We want to make sure that the folks who have the surplus food donated and the people who really need it can make the best possible use of it. And of course, there's also a form they can fill in, not only to record their donations for Fed Feed Families, but they can also get a tax donation for donating the food. So important points, no donation is too small. And that's a very important point. 3 tomatoes, 10 tomatoes will be commingled with all the other food gardeners donate. The food donations are protected by the Emerson Food Safety Act, federal law. Donations can continue after Feds Feed Families ends. Just because the program ends, your garden hasn't ended. Keep donating the food. And of course, the food donations are tax deductible. The food donations through Ample Harvest are particularly important because, and this is just a given, freshly harvested food is the healthiest food you can get. And for people living with any number of diet-related illnesses, whether it's diabetes, obesity, or just who want to remain healthy, fresh food is the game changer. It promotes community engagement. It connects the person who's gardening to the food pantry on a permanent basis. And it is a sustained solution to hunger. Because once I know that I can donate and to where, I will never again waste the food in my garden. I will be donating it. So for the champions, we have material that's online. There's a guidebook that's online. And so for any of you who have a phone, if you grab this QR code, you'll be able to download this entire presentation with all of the information that is in it. But bottom line is the guides at ampleharvest.org/FFF guide, the poster, FFF poster, and the copy of this presentation at FFF poster. Additionally, and this is the biggie, if you are a gardener and you want to donate food to a local food pantry, it's ampleharvest.org/FFF. If you have questions, ampleharvest.org/FFF And lastly, if you want to report the donations, ampleharvest.org/FFF report. Lastly, this is what food waste looks like. You would think this is surplus food from a garden that got donated to a food pantry. But I think it's important for you, the gardener, to know how the food pantries appreciate the food you donate. I'd like you to see the short video.
As a member of ampleharvest.org, I'd like to thank you so much for your fresh produce donations.
Just like to take a moment to say thank you to all the gardeners and farmers who provide produce and fresh vegetables.
We are especially grateful for fresh vegetables and fruit that is donated to us by area gardeners through the Ample Harvest program.
We are at ampleharvest.org participating. We just want to express our appreciation for the fresh produce that you provide. Very grateful to ampleharvest.org for providing some fresh food that our clients can come in and make selections like there was any regular grocery store or farmer's market and provide healthy meals for the family.
It's exciting to see as our clients come in and they see the pantry as fresh produce for them. Many of them would rather have that than some of the canned goods that we give them.
I want to thank you guys for donating fruits and vegetables. Our seniors really love them. They always go and grab the fruits and vegetables first before they even grab the canned food.
So I want to thank everybody who is going to be donating food, who has donated in the past. I certainly want to extend a thank you to Secretary Vilsack and his team for inviting ampleharvest.org back for its 10th year of working with Feds Feed Families. If you are a gardener, if you know a gardener, which means pretty much everybody, therefore, tell them about ampleharvest.org and tell them that the solution to hunger is in their backyard. Lastly, for the millions of people, whether they're a federal employee or not, who would like to give to charity but are themselves cash strapped and they can't be as charitable as they'd like, ampleharvest.org enables them to reach into their backyard instead of their back pocket to help their neighbors in need. Thank you very much, and thank you for inviting me.
I always love hearing about all the partnerships that we have here, and the groups that we work with is just speaks volumes about the amazing work that's ahead of us. And last but certainly not least, we have another partnership that we wanted to share with you for our final message, and that's from the Capital Area Food Bank. And they partner with more than 400 nonprofit organizations here in Washington, D.C. and the surrounding area. Together, they provide more than 500 or 50 million meals to almost 500,000 area residents every year. And because they know that food alone won't solve hunger, they also address the root causes of hunger through multiple education programs and innovative service delivery partnerships, which is quite unique, as you probably all know. So please help me in welcoming Jessie Perlmutter from the DC Capital Area Food Bank. Thank you so much.
Good morning. On behalf of the Capital Area Food Bank, thank you for inviting us to help kick off this important campaign. We're so pleased to see Feds Feed Families return for another year in 2024. This campaign speaks to the commitment of each agency for making our community stronger. Together with thousands of other federal employees, each of you is helping to make a real difference for people across our country through support of our nation's food banks. As all too many of us are aware, the past several years have been some of the most challenging ever faced for organizations working to address food insecurity. While many high-level economic indicators have improved this year, families are still feeling economic hardship related to the high cost of food and other essentials. Here in the nation's capital region, the Capital Area Food Bank is the anchor in the region's hunger relief infrastructure. Our mission is to help our neighbors thrive by creating more equitable access to food and opportunity through community partnerships. We provide food to a network of hundreds of nonprofit partners throughout all 3 regions in the DMV, including some who we heard from today, Bread for the City, Martha's Table, DC Central Kitchen, and so many more that I can't name today. We serve nonprofit partners of all sizes, and for the majority, we are the source of most or all of the food provided. To respond to the need of those in our community, we have been providing food for more meals than at any time in our history. Last calendar year, we distributed the food for over 60 million meals, nearly double the amount we distributed in 2019 prior to the pandemic. In our latest hunger report, published in September, we found that food insecurity levels remained at the staggeringly high level of 1 in 3 of our neighbors, or 1.2 million people in the region. The level of food insecurity was unprecedented prior to the pandemic, but while cases of COVID-19 have dropped, our partners unfortunately have continued to see surges in the number of people who come through their doors. Those neighbors include working individuals, they include seniors living on fixed incomes, and they include parents whose grocery bills may rise by several $100s during the summer months when schools are closed. In these incredibly challenging times, it's the support of our community that's made it possible to step up to meet the demand. We simply can't do this work without you. That has always been true, and it's especially true now. That's why Fed Feeds Families is so important. This campaign comes at a time when the food it provides is needed like never before, especially as we head into summer and children are even more vulnerable to hunger without the school lunch program. With a food drive of this scale, with this many players involved, everyone participating is making an enormous difference by providing access to nutritious meals for those who need them. You're providing a meal to a young person so they can go outside and play with their friends and return to school in the fall refreshed and ready to learn. You're providing a meal to a neighbor who works full-time to keep your grocery shelves stocked or to keep your neighborhood clean. You're providing a meal to a senior so they can stay healthy and strong. Your support will allow people to focus on the most essential things in their lives without having to worry where their next meal is coming from. The quality food you're providing isn't just helping address hunger today, it's unlocking human potential and creating brighter futures for people tomorrow. Now more than ever, our communities need this support. Together, we can address the challenges of this moment while also continuing to create a future in which more people have opportunities to thrive. Thank you again to every member of our country's federal agencies who is putting time, energy, and resources into this campaign. Each of you is making a tangible, critical difference in the lives of so many of our neighbors. Thank you.
Thank you, Jessie, and for highlighting the great work that you all are doing in the DC Capital Area Food Bank sector. one of the big things that I wanted to make sure that we didn't wrap up our segment this morning with you all without highlighting 5 different ways that you can participate this summer and throughout the year with all your federal giving. And the 5 ways that you can participate in our food drive is, first and foremost, you can serve with your office and become a champion. Federal employees can participate individually, as a team, and you can help promote this Feds Feeds Family campaign, host events like the virtual food drive, and coordinate any sort of activities and partner with us as well as you are a champion. And to become a champion, obviously you can get your supervisory approval, but the most important part is really just to go on our Hub's website, which is our fedsfeedfamily.org website. And in that section, you'll be able to see there's a tools page and you can register and become a champion. Second, you can find a food pantry or a food bank and donate online or in person. And this morning you heard from 3 amazing groups of folks that really are able to give you that resource and that tool to be able to leverage and start that campaign off strong. You can purchase the food online. You can have it delivered directly to a food bank or a pantry. And then all you have to do is record it on the Feds Feed Family Hub. And also, along that same vein, you can drop off the food donations at your local food bank or at a pantry and then record it as well online. Third, you can volunteer on your own time. We heard all about the great advantages of having gardening in your backyard. You can harvest and donate produce from your home garden, a neighborhood garden, and really be able to leverage some of the trees in your neighborhood as well. You can record your donation on our website and on our hub. And then you can also glean at a farm or a food bank to harvest produce or help food distribution. And if you're not familiar with gleaning, there are 2 types. One is field gleaning, and that's in the harvesting of unused or unharvested produce. And warehouse gleaning is a second one, and that really can involve sorting out and packaging donated food items. You can search for gleaning opportunities in your community that you can do on your own time as well. So learn more at the Feds Feeds Families Hub. And the 4th way to get involved is to host or attend a virtual food drive event. You can join your colleagues online, because we all know we're nationwide and sometimes even internationally. And you can learn about food insecurity in your community and how to voluntarily donate to participating in your local organizations next door. And finally, but certainly not last, is the 5th way to get involved is through the combined federal campaign. So as we all know, the CFC campaign. You can consider donating to a food bank or a food pantry through the CFC September through January given season. You can record your donation on our hub, and the monetary value or volunteer time that you put in will be converted into pounds, which is a very nifty little calculator. Employees who choose to attend in-person activities or on their own time, such as volunteering, are advised to follow guidance from their department or agency and their respective state Department of Health for food safety, prevention, and infection control. So please check with your local food bank or pantry on local donation protocols. So formally, as we wrap up here, our time together this morning, it's just the beginning of our summer campaign and our summer of giving. We hope that you can share your success stories with us on the hub, and you'll find this morning's event there located as well, where you can also sign up for updates. So we encourage you to check that out. As federal employees, we're super fortunate, and we're in a position to help others. And we can do that through the Feds Feed Family campaign, among many other pieces as well in our communities. So on behalf of USDA and the National Feds Feed Families team, I thank you for your participation, because together we are nourishing our neighbors nationwide. Thank you. I hear with great joy that we have questions online. So let's hear them.
Everyone, please type your questions in the chat box. If you want to be unmuted to ask your question over the mic, raise your hand and I'll unmute you. Thank you.
Thank you. Looks like Noelle has her hand raised. Oh, technology. Noelle, are you muted? The IT gremlins are in full force on Friday.
Yes, I think Noelle had it her hand raised accidentally, but I believe she jumped off.
Okay. Do we have any other questions in the chat?
Someone asked if you guys can show the website once again.
Oh, yes, we can certainly do that. We can pull that up. And then we can also drop the link of the website in the chat so you all have it readily available too as well.
And someone else asked when and how poor people pick the items, when and how.
So anyone who is interested in, so to be specific, if I understand the question, is it how can people acquire the donated food items?
Yeah, I believe so. That's what they're asking.
Yes, so it's all about communication and collaboration, right? And so the biggest thing that we encourage our neighbors is to provide them the resources. So if we have an understanding that folks might benefit from a lot of the produce or the proceeds that we're able to raise, to connect with their local food bank. And we heard from 3 amazing organizations here this morning that have resources right here in our backyards and in our communities. And so if you know someone specifically, I encourage you to develop a relationship with them and provide them with those resources so that, you know, hey, you can go the extra mile also and go arm in arm with them to that food bank or to the pickup location to be able to acquire some of those resources. And it's really about that relationship building that we want to make sure that we hone this year. Our theme is very intentional with nourishing our neighbors nationwide. And that really comes from developing a relationship with our neighbors, and what that looks like is very unique to each of us. And so I encourage you to develop that relationship, provide the resources to someone who you think would benefit from them. And really the rest is history at that point, because we want to make sure that we're providing sustainable resources to our neighbors. Great question. I hope that answers it.
I believe so. Thank you. Someone else asked, can companies donate fresh fruits and vegetables?
I believe so. Ampleharvest.org. Gary, you highlighted so many great points to that. Yes, please come up.
Thank you. That's a wonderful question. While our target are America's 62 million gardeners, stores, companies, anybody else who has fresh food can also donate just as easily by visiting ampleharvest.org to make that donation. So the answer to the question is yes. The ideal thing is just to make sure the food is fresh and wholesome, but otherwise, absolutely yes, they should be donated. We should be wasting none of our food. Hope that answers your question.
Thank you so much. And one more question. Will there be a Feed Family box available at the USDA building so people can donate the non-perishable items?
Well, funny you should ask. We have it set right in the Witten lobby, and we also have one located in the South building. So you can find them right there. They're already set up, ready to go with a sign and kiosk accompanying them. They are open and ready to receive any donated goods that you swing by with. Great question.
Perfect. And then last but not least, someone asked, would the recording of this webinar be available at the Feeds, the hub page?
Of course. If you head over to the hub page, which we will drop the link in the chat, if we haven't already, that will also, all the recording and all the resources that you heard about this morning will also be located on our hub page, how you can register as a champion, how to connect with your fellow agencies and departments as well. Everything is a one-stop shop that we created there. And if you sign up for our newsletter, which is on one of the main page there, you'll also receive a weekly touch base from us that allows us to be able to connect with you with additional resources, especially because we have weekly themes that we'll be highlighting throughout the summer through September 30th. And we hope that you do sign up for our newsletter so we can keep in touch and give you all the great updates. Thank you all so much for coming this morning.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you all.
So soon.